Hello out there, YouTube. This is a video response to mbyr31, Matt the Man. He was talking about stacking his firewood, and I told him I'd show him my things that I built to stack firewood against. And right there is the only set that I've got set up right now. And here's some that I've got dismantled up above where I usually stack my firewood in this area right here. So let's pull one of these out. And set it down right there. Now that's channel iron. I believe it's 5-inch. Yes, it's 5-inch channel iron. A guy gave me an old trailer and I cut it up and used it for everything. One thing I used it for was these. Take 2 pieces of that channel iron and just weld them together at the corner, just like that. Stick in a short piece of 2x4, and then I cut some wedges to wedge in there to make up the difference. And I had some old 2x6s. It also came off that trailer, so I cut them at an angle so that the bottom would be closer to the size to fit in there, and you have to hammer that in. Let me get up here on the tripod. There we go. And there it is. So you take 2 of those, 2 on each end of your stack, and these are about 6 foot long here, so you can stack wood about 7 foot high. But that's really all you need. Probably don't even need that much. On the underneath side of the wood, and you just stack it on there like that, and you can stack it up to the top and it'll hold it in. Those work pretty good, and they're pretty simple to make, and they're pretty simple to store when you're not using them, because you can just pull one side out and leave that other side in there. Now if you use a 2x4 on each side, you need to make a wedge like that for both sides. Like I said, I just had these scrap 2x6s, so I cut them tapered so that the end would fit inside that 5-inch channel iron, like that, and I might stick a wedge in them too, just to make them a little tighter. But as you can see, it leans out some if you don't, and that's just fine. It's just that much more wood you can stack in it. But if they stand up straight, then it may look a little bit better. This is where I got the idea of those firewood rack mechanisms that I made. Right there, this store-bought one that my lovely wife had when we got married. Works fine, except for the fact that you can only stack firewood about 4 foot tall on it. But that's just fine for here at the porch. I did this last year with a couple stacks of wood, and it worked good. It dried it pretty quick, really. And as you can see, I just finished this stack off the other day. There's a lot of moisture in there, and there's some vents. Like here's a hole for venting here. Now this wood's only been in here, it's not even been in here a week, and that piece is starting to feel pretty dry. If I can get it back in there without tearing it all up. This stack here now, as you can see, this this is pretty wet on the inside. The condensation up in here, there's a lot of condensation on it. Now this stack over here, the condensation is starting to disappear on it. These pieces up here on top, like that piece right there, it's really hot, and it's lightened up a bunch. I might do that to this other stack over here. I might weigh one before and after the wrap, like do it once a week. Now Matt, you were asking about how I keep it from falling over. That's because I crisscross stack the corners and try to keep them as even as possible, stacking them up, and then put all the oddball shape stuff in the middle. And then anything that one's not really warranted going in there, but say for instance this piece here, you know, it's just a little scrap piece off the splitter. That's what you fill up the middle inside there with, is that stuff that won't stack at all. So anything that's got a shape to it that won't stack very even, like that piece right there, it's got that big curve in it, you throw it in here in the middle of these corner stacks, and it's pretty steady right now. But for sure, once you get it up to the level of one wrap of that packing wrap, you can put a wrap around it and it sturdies it up a bunch. So that's what I'm doing this year. I'm going to stack it all out here. Now, what would really be nice is if I had a forklift that I could just pull in underneath these pallets, pick them up whole, and set them on the back porch of the house. Get you some scrap 2x and make a couple wedges and you're ready to go. Slap them together and stack wood. Now for sure you could make, you know, if you wanted that 2x4 there on the bottom to go the whole length, you could get like a 10 or a 12-foot 2x4 or whatever and go clear from one end to the other with that solid 2x4, but it's not necessary. You can separate these apart as far as you want, and like if you were stacking up against a tree, which that doesn't always work either, but anyway, you could stack up against a tree on one side and put these on the other end of the stack to hold the other end. The thing about stacking up a tree against a tree is that tree moves when the wind blows. That'll knock over a stack of wood every now and then. This is just a great big tree. But that's what I do, Matt. Hope that makes sense. Y'all take care out there, you hear?